Hey Polish fans, it's Caroline again and welcome to another video here at Wild Moon Lacquer. In today's video I am going over my entire year of the Orly Color Pass box. Now that I've gotten all 4 of the Color Pass boxes for this year, I thought I'd go over sort of the entire experience with you guys and see how I liked it, if I thought it was worth it, about the cost of each bottle, and if I think I might be renewing it for 2022. So first off, how much did I spend? Well, all 4, I am missing the spring one of those little cards, but for all 4 seasons here, I had a coupon that got the entire seasonal pass for $107. Now what that equated to is if you just counted the 6-piece collections, all 4 of them, that would equate to about $4.46 per bottle. Now for the spring color pass box, we did end up with an Orly base coat. Then for the summer box, we did get a quick dry top coat, as well as a full-sized bottle in our winter holiday box. So if we were to include just those 3 additional bottles, each polish for the entire season or for the entire year of the color pass box would have been $3.96 per polish. Now that's also not including the extras like this stuff here. So all of this would still not have been included. All of this would have essentially been free with each bottle in the collections, as well as the additional full-sized bottle items being $3.96, which is a really good deal. So it's definitely worth it in that regard. That's a pretty good deal. I had in fact calculated that out before I signed up for the box. I had been eyeing a bunch of other places about where I would get Orly bottles and about how much they would cost. So that was about on par, if not maybe a little bit less, depending on what website I was going to get them from. So next let's go over what was in each collection. So the spring, I am, like I said, missing the little card that would have come with the spring collection, but this was the first one that I got for spring 2021. And I will say that this was a rather unorthodox color palette for a spring collection. Here are our 6 colors. We have this sort of a deep teal called Let the Good Times Roll. Then we have this pastel mint color. That one was called Happy Camper. This mid-toned sort of bright orange is called Catch You Later. That is the namesake of the collection. Then we have this mustard yellow. That one is Here Comes the Sun. Then we have this dark purple, very, very dark purple. That one was Feeling Foxy. And then last in that collection is a sort of a clay color, and this one was called Can You Dig It? Then for that spring box, that was the one that came with the Orly Bonder base coat as well as a keychain. I will say that the keychain in and of itself is not my style whatsoever, so that is definitely an extra that is going to be donated. But I have been using the Orly Bonder base coat and it's been okay. I can't say it's been like the best thing ever, not life-changing or anything like that, but it's a full-size bottle and, you know, can't hurt to have an additional base coat. Then for summer, I do have the card for. This was the Electric Escape collection, and this one was really fun. If you are new to my channel, this was the first summer collection I have had ever. Brighter colors were not my thing, so this was an interesting way to sort of just be given a collection without having to hem and haw about if I was going to get it, and I will say I actually really liked all of these colors. So for that summer collection, we had this sort of a brighter jungle green called Plastic Jungle. Then we had this neon green called Neon Paradise. Then we had this really beautiful sort of a marigold yellow orange. This one was Tangerine Dream. Next up we had this sort of a bright neon corally orange. This one is Artificial Orange. Then we had this sort of a lilac-y purple, and this one is called Kaleidoscope Eyes. This one did end up feeling a little bit more pink initially when I did the swatches of it. And then we have this darker bright purple, and this one is called Synthetic Symphony. So all in all, that collection I thought was really fun. Like I said, it was my first summer collection ever, so it introduced me to a lot of colors that I did not have in my collection, so that was really nice. Then for the freebie, we had the Second Dry Quick Dry top coat. I will say that I still need to play around with this a little bit more to sort of see how it works for me. I've been using mainly my Indie top coats, quick dry top coats, so this one was a bit on the thinner side, which almost made it feel like it wasn't really a top coat, but it could just be because I am used to a more thicker formula. But that was the summer box. Next up was the fall box. This one was called Wild Natured. We had our collection here, as well as a half-sized bottle. I guess they are calling these a midi-sized bottle, as well as their Spritz Dry Nail Spray to help dry your nails. This one I will say was one of my favorite collections. We had a beautiful teal green. This one was called In Full Plume. We had a beautiful rich army green. This one is called Wild Willow. We had a dark but bright blue. This one was called Blue Tango. Another orange. This one is slightly different than some of the other colors that were in the other collections. This one is called Lion's Ear. Next up we had this darker orange. This one was called Bird of Paradise. And then lastly was this sort of a deep fuchsia color, and this one was called String of Hearts. And like I said, the freebies of this one was their little midi size. I ended up getting a polish called Fairy Godmother, which was very similar to Rage, if you are familiar with that color. And then of course the Spritz Dry. So all in all, that was a pretty decent box, and like I said, the colors of that collection were some of my favorites. And then lastly we have the winter collection here. You might have seen my recent swatch video of that. I'll post that up there in the cards. But this one was called Momentary Wonders, and this is the first collection of my ColourPass subscription that had specialty finishes. So this had 6 really neat finishes, as well as a free hair clip and a full-sized polish, which is my favorite kind of bonus item. This one was called The Spice Is Right, and if I was reading this correctly, I think this color is actually a ColourPass exclusive, which means that this might not be available in any other way. So that was rather a nice little freebie. And then here was the collection. This beautiful purple was Flight of Fancy. This deep fuchsia was Awestruck. This sort of a corally red shade was Dancing Embers. Our topper, which was sort of a gold with pink flecks, was Touch of Magic. Then we had this beautiful duochrome green to gold, that was Whispered Allure. And then we had this one here, which was their white with a beautiful gold glimmer to it, and that one could also be used as a topper, and that was called Ephemeral. So that was just a quick overview of each season that I got for this 2021 ColourPass. That will be different for each person depending on when you sign up. So for instance, if you were to sign up right now, you might get the winter box and then go through and do the 2022 spring, summer, and then fall. So I might wait to see some previews maybe for next spring and then decide if I want to resubscribe. As I think I might have briefly mentioned at the beginning, I did have a coupon when I signed up. I think the original price for the yearly subscription is like $130. I'll have to check on that. I'll try to remember to post that there. So overall, I do think it was a really fun experience. I got some really beautiful colors that I don't think I would have picked on my own. I had at least one yellow that I was able to add to my collection, although I will say it was a little bit similar to some of the yellows that I have chosen previously because it is sort of a mustard shade. We got a lot of oranges, I will say that. I got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 oranges. 6 if you count this one, which technically is more of a pinky red, so we'll just go ahead and say that we had 5 oranges, which is a lot of oranges. Just to do side-by-side comparisons of the lighter shades of orange, they are all different, so that's good. We had Catch You Later, which was more of a white-based orange polish that leans a little bit more towards the reddish side. This one here, which was Tangerine Dream, definitely leans more towards the yellow side. Hopefully on camera it's showing up accurately because on my screen it looks yellow. It's definitely an orange though. And then Lion's Ear was this beautiful sort of a deep marigold orange, which was really, really unique to my collection overall. And then our 2 darker oranges. Technically this one could be a pink as well, but this one was Artificial Orange, sort of a neon corally orange, and then this one was Bird of Paradise, and that one is definitely a deeper, not quite rust shade, but a really beautiful shade of orange nonetheless. I will say I could have used more purples. We did end up with, let's see, we ended up with 4 different shades of purple. I'm a purple fan, so I would definitely say I could stand at least as many purples in the year box as I did with the oranges, so at least one more would have been nice. This one is the newest one that has that beautiful finish to it. Then we had the deep, almost blackened purple of Feeling Foxy. Then we had the lilac-y pink, which depending on what you compare it to, is going to look more pink or more purple depending on the other color. That one was Kaleidoscope Eyes, and then this one, which is a beautiful, beautiful purple called Synthetic Symphony. So only 4 purples in the entirety of the year of my ColourPass box. And like I've said before, this holiday season box was the one and only box that had any shimmers or flakies or any specialty finishes whatsoever. So all in all, we had 3 entire collections of strictly cream polishes and then 1 of some specialty finishes, which from the comments that I've been reading from you guys is not going over very well with that many people, surprisingly. But I will say I like the little art tutorials that they have going on here. I think that would be a really fun nail art style to try, using the ephemeral color as the base and then sort of doing this really interesting almost drip design in I believe that would probably be Flight of Fancy or maybe Awestruck, and then using the gold, which is I believe Whispered Lore, is going to show up on this design a little bit more towards the gold side of things as opposed to the green side of things. But really beautiful in nail art, like I was mentioning when I was going over that collection. I don't know that I would wear it necessarily on its own myself, but I might change my mind. It's a really cool color. I really like it. So there you go. That was my experience with my ColourPass box. All 4 seasons. I did spring, summer, winter, and fall all in 2021. Let me know down below if you have done the ColourPass box yourself, what you thought of it, how much was it when you paid for it, and if you know of any coupons that are around right now, let everyone know down below. That way they can try it out for themselves and see if it's something that they enjoy. Like I said, overall, I feel like I'm going to start repeating myself, but overall, I thought it was a really good deal. I liked it. It was a fun little bonus to come in the mail besides my usual packages from indie brands, and I was able to end up with a lot more cream polishes than I had, and none of them were dupables except for possibly this mustard shade there. But overall, I was really pleased. We'll hem and haw about it and decide if I'm going to sign up for 2022, but hopefully you guys enjoyed. Like I said, let me know down below if you have subscribed before or if you've done it by a month-to-month basis, and what you think of the bonus items, the 2 non-polish like plasticky items. I'm not the biggest fan. I will say of the 2 though, I prefer stuff like the claw clip instead of the not my style keychain whatsoever. But it was fun. Nice little bonuses. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in that next video.